As I began my journey into motherhood, I anticipated that it would be more like a luxury cruise where I get to be the activities director. Unfortunately, within the first few weeks, I began to realize that it would be more like wandering in the desert for 40 years. Let's talk more about that coming up next. Well, hello friends, I'm Mary Beth from the AtWhatCostBlog.com, where we are learning how to apply God's truth to our everyday lives. Typically, you will see short-term, quick fix tutorials on either how you can improve your Bible studying or how you can implement family minimalism into your lives. Today, we're talking a little bit more long-term. We're going to look back at where I was at about 2 years ago, how I got to finding family minimalism, and the changes that it has made for the good in our home. So 2 years ago, and I know that it was exactly 2 years ago because I had one of those lovely Facebook memories that pops up and reminds you just how miserable life was. And I just can't say it any better than I said it 2 years ago. I felt like 5 gallons of crazy in a 3-gallon bucket. And I toted that bucket around for a while. I knew that I needed balance, but I just could not figure out how to get there. So over the course of that year, I tried several different methods of doing laundry or keeping up with our dishes. I piled up and piled up and piled up resources for myself, and not one single one of them worked. A year later, I was still in the same place of feeling like I was still all of those things. And don't get me wrong, we all have things that we decide we're not going to do when motherhood rolls around to us. I know that you have said it because I know that I have said it. When my kids, blah, 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 I would never do this, or I would never do that as a mother. And ultimately, the kids show up and life changes in ways that we don't expect. Life certainly changed in ways that we did not expect when my husband Brian and I adopted our 3 boys through foster care almost 4 years ago. If you're doing the math, 2 years ago, I was about halfway through my parenting journey so far. Before kids, I anticipated that it was going to be difficult, but we would get into a routine, things would be manageable. I was just going to rock motherhood. And 2 years into it, I could not figure out why I wanted to be a mother. It's even a little bit hard to admit, like, I was not finding joy in motherhood. To be perfectly honest, I was probably more along the lines of resenting motherhood than I was finding joy in it. I knew that God had a plan for us. I knew that 3 little boys needed me to be the super mom that they so deserved. And I knew that I had no way to do that, and I could not figure out how I was going to continue to do this day in and day out in this condition. So after a long year of trying to find different ways to make our household run a little bit better, I discovered a laundry video from Dawn at the Minimal Mom. It totally changed our lives. Your kids only have 5 pairs of shorts. Why do they only have 5 pairs of shorts? How do you even get through the week? Well, we do laundry. That's how we do it. And when I do the laundry, I actually put it away. So it's pretty easy to find the shorts they need the next day. A year ago, I could not say that. We had clothes tucked away in every corner, in every nook and cranny, and this very couch was covered in laundry. So hearing that message of having less means less to do, it's like the simplest message, and it had the most profound impact on me. It was so counterintuitive to everything that I had been told as a mother. I had, I'm sure like many of you, Pinterest boards that had the really pretty family pictures where everybody's outfits are just coordinated in the best way to accentuate everyone's best features. Everything has that Pinterest perfect look to it because that's what real life looks like, right? I think we all know that that's not really the case. So having this idea that we could have a lot less, like maybe my kids didn't need new outfits every single year for Christmas that were different from what they would typically wear during the year. Or maybe we could do birthday presents that were a lot less stick around-ish than buying them new art supplies or doing something that was more of an experience. Those kinds of thoughts never crossed my mind. It was totally counterintuitive until it wasn't. So once I got through the laundry, I piled everybody's clothes into one room. Everything was clean, everything was in one room, and I started sorting through our kids' clothes. After doing that, I started to really realize why I was behind on laundry all the time. If all of our hampers were full, I had 14 loads of laundry to do. There's no way I would ever keep up with that. Reducing their wardrobes down to a manageable size meant that even if every single piece of clothing they had was dirty, I could do it in 2 loads of laundry max. 2 loads of laundry was manageable. 14 was anxiety producing. So that small change just in our laundry led to a whole new way of thinking. Now, there's 2 sides to all of our lives, right? We have the physical world, but then we also have the spiritual world. So here in the physical world, I was managing our laundry system, while over in the spiritual world, God was preparing me for embracing this idea fully of where I was putting my worship, where I was putting my devotion, and how I could start taking some of these biblical principles that I was learning in Sunday school or in our sermon or in our Bible studies and actually applying them to the more mundane things in our lives. It was phenomenal when those 2 things met. It started with the laundry. I moved into toys, I went into the kitchen, I went through the rest of our home, and altogether, I would say I've reduced the possessions that we have in our home by about 50 to 75%. Probably more if I really did the math. And as I did that, a few things changed. So you remember when I talked earlier about the 5 gallons of crazy in a 3-gallon bucket. Every time I reached a new minimalism milestone, it was like a few quarts of crazy got taken out of that bucket. So I'm always gonna have my 3-gallon bucket. But rather than just letting my day start without me or playing catch up with all of the things around me, making compromises to the things that I valued as a mother, all of those things were contributing to the excess that I had in life. As I started to take more and more things out of that bucket, the contents became more and more easily managed. So here I am on the other side of my first year of minimalism, and life feels completely different in all the best ways. Now, on the other side of minimalism, I know why I'm here, and a little healthy dose of Reform Catechism. I'm here to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. And that's just what I want to do. I don't want a life that's merely surviving anymore. I want to thrive in this life. That is the best way that I can bring glory and honor to God. I don't want to just plug along. I want to carry that bucket with intention. I want to leave a legacy for my children that there are things in this life that matter more than the trivial, perishable things that society tells us we need to be able to be a better version of ourselves. The other aspect of this article resonated with me when they talked about linking arms and traveling this road together. 2 years ago, linking arms meant just finding someone that I could do this journey with, regardless of the direction that I was headed. In fact, most of the time, I feel like I wasn't headed in a direction so much as I was being pulled into a direction. Today, linking arms with other folks in the trenches has a whole new meaning. Here at this channel, that is just what we are doing. This is a community where you can link arms with other believers who are on the same path to finding a better life with less. One of my favorite verses is John 10:10. Jesus is telling us here that the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but that he has come to give us life and give us life abundantly. I so hope that you will subscribe to this channel and link arms with us as we continue on this journey. We've just made it through the first year of minimalism, and I cannot wait to see where God takes this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, somebody's got to make the blooper reel. This dog. Can you just grab her and then close that door, please?
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Be quiet. Mommy's making a YouTube video. Be quiet, dog.
Come on, you junkie.
I just gave her a treat.
She's gonna get a treat. Get in the room. She's gonna get a treat. Just stay quiet before she gets the hose.
Okay. Click. Again, I digress. I'm talking too much. I'm telling too many stories. Let's get to the tips. GoPro, stop recording. I just don't want to live a life of regrets. Or regrets. No regrets! I'm talking to the camera like it's a real person. I mean, you are a real person. I mean, you're a real person. The camera's not a real person. Yeah. I think it's time for another cup of coffee too. Or maybe less coffee. That may be what I need. It may be less coffee. Yeah. Is in our home. Well, hello friend. I'm Mary Beth from the atwhatcauseblog.com. And yes, I am in my coat closet right now, and I am not hiding from my children.
Are you coming in? Go lay down. Go lay down.
I have a little bit less adventure. Really? What? I'm gonna be on camera. Be on camera. Come on, be on camera. Look. Oh, my son. Oh. Stinker. You a stinker, girl. Do you know how many times I've said, close the door, followed by, don't slam it? Y'all, we're like on day 2, but this is actually day 1. It just feels like so much longer. Like forced homeschooling happens the same way dog years pass. Yeah. Only 879 more days. Thanks for hanging in there, and I'll see you in the next one.